2G on Ascent. There are lots of questions, lots of conversations around what the compositions would be, what kind of looks we'll get, given that neither team has shown this map. We're just a few moments away from having those questions answered. I'm Doug, and with me on the call is Ender, and then Sean Escaris as well. Boys, expectations, feelings, thoughts?
You care about my feelings?
I'm thinking we're going to see...
Not a ton, actually. I lied.
I'm thinking we might have a double Senti comp, but I'm waiting to see the comps right now busted out.
Come on. Tell me what the comps are. I like how they keep us a little...
There we go.
A little bit delayed. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, KRU are playing the double Senti, but not 2G. What's actually up with that? We got a little bit baited there when you were wondering what was going to be coming on through.
KRU are rocking the Deadlock Cypher right now, and honestly, I think it's a really good comp, especially with the changes to the Seized on the Deadlock. The Yoru out of Keznit, he's had so much value since switching to this agent. I was actually talking to him about it backstage a couple of weeks ago. He said he just picked it up randomly in the off season, and I asked him if he had any interest in Waylay. He's like, no, that's a baiter agent. It's like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, KRU or Keznit, not much of a baiter, bit of a lurker. Does enjoy getting involved in that. We'll see what they've got in store for us on this map. Again, reminder, neither of these teams have actually played this map so far.
Well, we're just a few moments away from getting a look at it and seeing what they are going to show. Again, Ascent on the other side of this. We'll see what the compositions look like. We've got a little bit to speak of as we're a couple of minutes from loading into it. I think, as we talked about prior to cutting the break in between maps, there was a lot that 2G showed that looked interesting, that looked compelling, that was enough to give a little semblance of hope, but it was unfortunately squelched.
Yeah, it got shut down pretty quickly there. Once KRU called that early timeout, you know, we're able to bounce things back. But one thing that's been pretty consistent of 2G is just, I think their firepower, especially from Luis. He's been pretty stellar. Big fight into mid, all ready to kick things off.
Kills traded, and look at how aggressive the defense is. It seems like they might try to scale all the way up through mid, but instead taking the path into tree.
You've got into the Senti setup, Doug.
Yeah, you've got all of this utility to play it behind, and 2G can't find their way out.
I think that's a wise choice.
Agreed.
Speeding up into the A site against double Senti when you see any pressure anywhere is almost a huge mistake every time. Reaggress mid from KRU. Great shot from Keznit.
I'm concerned about the pace at which KRU are going to want to play this map. I don't know that they're going to give 2G much room to breathe. I mean, we'll see if the rest of the rounds play out that way, but even on the pistol, the statement was made. They're going to play, and they're going to run at you.
Yeah, they are, and I like the attempt right there from KRU to push mid. Always aggressing, always staying in packs. Oh!
That's crazy. The Red Bull clutch for Luis. Where did that even come from?
I mean, he's been doing this ever since he took over the IGL duties. This guy's been insane.
That 1v2 was insane. We'll take a look at it one more time in the replay, I hope, but that was so unexpected, given the aggression that KRU showed at the beginning of the map.
Yeah, both teams.
Get out, bro. Tagged by the camera, and then the double swing.
I will say both teams played really well with the trade, sticking in packs, and KRU did it till the very end.
Yeah.
What a clutch out of Luis.
Just when it seemed like all hope was gone. He was exactly what they needed. Now KRU are going to be on this awkward light buy. You've got an outlaw for Askia. And it's like they're waiting for some aggression from the defense, and they are right. I love that swing, but there are too many things to deal with. Gobera's going to get 3. Get closer and closer to having that Tejo ult online.
Check out the buy from 2G as well. Like, that's beastly. They're not just trying to win round 2. They're going to buy another rifle and try and win the bonus, not even take it.
Yeah, continue to snowball as much as you can. Blades
I was about to say, I was like, Keznit's going to swoop that orb?
Yeah. They thought twice about that, wisely so.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
That was the ghost. Nothing really going on there.
Askia.
Got him flushed out of that corner, having to give the space up. Luis playing really far back, concerned for the flank, and he's about to find out.
He's got the ult.
That's where it is. You're right. Gobert is going to have that ult in the next round, so there's going to be a lot behind this bonus. Luis gets the last. 2G up big.
Oh, they are cooking right now. Tail ult bonus ender against the double senti. The missiles to break some of this util close if you want to pop out of a main. We could see a really explosive,
Seriously.
very powerful bonus off barrier.
Silence did upgrade, so he was the guy to fall, had a ghost, went for the save. He's got a rifle now. So there's 2 rifles, 2 guardians, and outlaw. Good news for KRU is they've got 4 heavy armors, but the bad news is Keznit, the guy taking first contacts, is on the light. So there's a world where he could end up running into Gobert's outlaw and really be punished.
Is the plan for 2G here to be a little bit more exploratory? Oski is dead. Dude, the timing on that was by himself. There was no camp spotting that someone was up cat or anything.
I love the fact that KRU are trying to give this idea that they're going to be really aggressive on defense, even with this comp. That early conditioning is going to be powerful, especially once they start playing more reserved later in the half.
They hold invested.
Is he
towards
TP over
heaven.
it?
No shot.
Oh my god,
He is.
what a play.
And he gets a kill anyway. He's still going to have a lot more to deal with, though. The defense is here, and it's starting to get even more bolstered. Shai's going to be late on the rotate, but will arrive. Gobert now falls. Silence and Luis left in a 2v4. And the spikes, I mean, in a really uncomfortable position here.
2G need to find some way to bait out some early fights. Maybe here catching Mazzino. That's big from Luis.
Still more to be done, though. The defense has the advantage. And it's going to be on Luis to try to pull off this 1v3. And he can't. Keznit was there, overwhelmed on the numbers. Really cool ideas on playing around the ult, as you mentioned, but I mean, KRU on the board.
Heads up play by Keznit and KRU right here. You know, aggressing through in the bonus right here because the other team has tail ult, right? It's a powerful bonus. So the exec is going to be devastating. You want to try to break it apart, get an early frag. He does that, TP's out as Yoru, plays his life very well. And then you see Melzer TP over the ult as well.
So cool, right?
Again, just like actually making 2G scramble and think on the fly.
And saying that, hey, they're going to be fighting you in mid-space too, because I think a lot of the times when you're attacking into a double senti comp, you usually try to take mid-control so you can split into a site, so you can, you know, avoid just getting permanently stalled out in one of the main chokes. Just like this round, we're going quick towards market.
We'll see how they handle it. It is a B split. A lot of the presence across the middle of the map. Gobert will be the first to find lethality. Smokes out, walls out. They're digging their heels in. Can they weather this storm? They've got some personnel here, but is it going to be enough to keep everything back? Oski on the swing, they both crumble. The site's all theirs. I don't know how KRU fight back into this.
I don't think they should, Doug. Look at the econ right now. They need these 2 guns for next round. If they were to go for this, they would be broke. Wow, what a response from 2G.
I'm really impressed that 2G win that retake, even ignoring the deadlock wall, because they couldn't scale downstairs. They had to go all in through lane. But everyone knew which angles they had to be holding, right? PXS is hard holding backside as Oski scales in, so Oski can turn around, deal with the player, boost it up on the box. And they both end up winning their fights, so it just looks super clean.
It is interesting that this is the round that they moved away from the mid-aggression, right? We talked about it so much in the first 3 rounds. Hey, it seems like KRU are going to want to fight you. They sent Keznit on the pop flash, the pistol, all of it. This is the round where they take a step back. They just drop a trip. Instantly, 2G hits them where it hurts.
I think it caught KRU off guard. Not many teams are willing to just straight exec like that on a... This is a reset round for them, and they did go through mid, which is the call, right? You don't want to go in through one of the mains against this double senti comp. You want to abuse mid if you're 2G, but the pace they just played at was crazy.
The fact that it's the 4 players going in through mid, usually the mid's maybe like 3 players. It's the lighter side that you end up attacking.
Right.
Trying to
Doug, you're the problem. Doug, you're the problem. Doug, you're the problem.
I don't want this to be the thing. Like, I don't want...
Okay, leave.
I mean, actually, no, given how you guys handled that one round that I wasn't a part of, production's telling me that I'm not allowed to leave. Actually, they're begging that I stay. So I'm going to have to go ahead and listen to them because they're the ones who
name a name, Doug.
signed my paycheck, and it's not you guys. John Riot. Okay.
Oh.
See,
John
now
Riot
I know
himself.
you're lying. John Riot and I go way back. And I know John Riot doesn't like you that much.
You don't know John Riot.
I know John Riot.
We are being told it is a monitor issue. So, as is always the case, we're going to fix it as expeditiously as possible and get back into the fun stuff. We got to talk about the middle of the map. We got to talk about how KRU has been fighting it. Do you expect that to be a bit more of the pace?
What I expect out of KRU, I mean, it's a little bit different because 2G don't have that Sova, right? That you're so used to seeing on Ascent. It's been so long that we've seen Sovas and well, even the Fade meta. But Teo is way different because once you break the drone, the lack of info is kind of crazy. And I think KRU should really focus on trying to break the stealth drone as quick as possible. It got a lot of value going up mid right there, which is why the pace was so aggressive. If I'm Coach Adam right here, I'm probably thinking, you know, like, we have to shut down this drone. We have to stall them out in mid and at very least slow down the pace of their set plays because that's what this team is going to run on right now, set plays.
Yeah, the thing I'm really worried about for 2G is, you know, a little bit down the road, like, well, what happens when Keznit gets an op in his hands, right? Because I think that can kind of be a deal breaker when you're not, you know, when you're allowed to, like, take the aggressive looks through a smoke in mid or something like this. And then the other side of the map, you can, if you try and run away from the op, there's this double stall that's just going to be frustrating you on the other end of things. So that's usually, to me, when these double senti comps become kind of unbeatable on defense, is when you have a strong opper that can show the aggro looks and the passive, you know, double side holds are equally effective on the other side.
Well, I hate to cut you off there. I'm sure what you were saying was very
you didn't cut me off. I stopped talking.
Very
I was
provoking
done with
and
my
very
points.
Interesting, but I didn't listen to a single word. This week, we sat down with Keznit to get the story and the lowdown behind his ink, which actually looks really freaking cool. Check it out.
Este tatuaje obviamente me lo hice porque es el nombre de mi mamá y es algo muy especial para mí. Este tatuaje que tengo aquí con este otro son tatuajes que tengo con mi hermano. Este que tengo aquí es la fecha de nacimiento de mi papá y este es una florcita que es algo que me representa, me gusta tener como, es como que me da como vida. Esos son mis tatuajes.
We are back. I am being told that we're just a few moments away from getting back into the action. It is always cool to get responses and get thoughts on, like, why the ink, right? And it's cool to get a little insight there from Keznit, your GOAT.
I love Keznit. I love him. He's so funny. Man, the whole team is actually hilarious behind closed doors. But here we have that Teo ult. Mel's are cooking. Goes into attic, and it seems like just a 1-for-1, and normally on defense, a 1-for-1, no bueno, right? It's not good. But in that scenario, 2G, like I said, they wanted to have these set plays, the A main aggression out of KRU with the double senti, trying to filter them into the B site. I mean, so A site has this aggressive push coming, B site locked down with the double senti. Mid again.
Interesting here. Shy doesn't put his trips down.
Wow.
Spike down.
One of the two rifles for KRU.
Yeah, PXS getting dealt with. But look, you know, we talked so much about the double senti comp, and this is a really interesting approach here. You put the Deadlock util B, but the Cypher's also B, but his trips aren't down.
Well, that's because you look at his econ right now. If the round is winnable, I think he's going to put these trips down. But you want to try to carry those into the next round. You're buying them, and you want to use them if the round is winnable. But otherwise, it's going to mess up your buy for next round.
Well, so far, so good. 1 kill found. They've dropped the paranoia out. That counter flash is going to buy a little bit of time here. Where do the rotations come through? Both Semti still playing back towards B. Remember, there is a gun deficit as Melser falls. Adverso trying to dance behind Jenny, and the Jet just running him down. Yeah, there's not a lot of bite behind this. I think you're right, Sean. Shy's going to carry those trips into the next.
The timing 2G went for there was perfect. It was caught in this time right after Melzer put down the one-way smoke, and I don't think Mazzino can really play for this, but it meant there was no second smoke for Melzer to actually put on site to sort of hide behind once 2G came flooding out of main.
Yeah, it made it so much more difficult. 2 weapons upgraded from the defense. Shy's also going to get a kill. On to Gobert, get a little bit closer here to his ult, but you imagine they're going to try to clutch onto those and try to carry them into the next round.
I actually think KRU are going to go for some extra frags right here. They're looking to play the econ. Shy puts that cam down, and he's looking to get more kills right here.
Oh, he's going to try. One of the members is very weak. Look at Luis's HP, just 7 health. Does he dare swing out here?
Are they going to hide in the smoke?
They are.
Oh, it was
Spamming.
planted backside, so it didn't actually reach all the way to them.
Yeah, a little spam into the smoke. No exits found, but guns carried over.
I love the game plan here out of KRU, considering it's not even their map pick. They're aggressing really heavy with this double senti comp, like you pointed out. I'm curious to see if this continues.
It's a bit odd, though, because like they keep going for like half buys or like saving some rifles. So even going into round 6, they don't have enough money to actually go for an op, which surprises me a little bit.
Yeah, this is definitely a good timeout for Coach Adam. And like I said, I think the way mid is just being grabbed so quickly is a bit of a problem for KRU. I know that was a half buy. It wasn't really much for KRU, but 4-1 with the double senti comp right now, they're heading towards must-win territory, actually.
Yeah.
Very quickly in this first half.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, the times that we've seen this comp on the defensive side, it just shines. And they have not been able to replicate that success at all. I think 2G is starting to abuse a couple of those windows that they found, a lot of it across the middle of the map, like you were saying, Sean.
So KRU have some big ultimates to play with coming into this round, right? They've got Sova plus Yoru, great combination if they want to either use that aggressively or even going for some retake looks with that. But you check out the positioning of some of these players, and I almost wonder if KRU start to play some more like crossfire angles in towards mid, like back mid 3 to market, those types of ideas to shut down these splits.
Yeah, you can see Adverso's kind of roaming in the back lines right now. I think he's just trying to play both sides with his Hunter's Fury, have the rotate ready. Maybe a deep dart again, A main here?
Early net. Of course, the big change with Deadlock coming in that you can spam those away. Refresh after 40 seconds.
I was shocked when I heard the net and the pull-out. I thought for sure Adverso was going to pop ult.
He was close with it, but decides to hang on to it. A little trigger discipline. Orb scooped up. A lot of attention B. And it seems like that's where they're rotating. Over!
Ooh.
Silence not able to connect
Lot of
onto that
info, though.
shot. And now Keznit's going to pop the ult. And he's going to see all this rotation through. I wonder if they're freezing. Yeah, they're waiting in spawn. And so if they get the timing on this right...
Ooh, oh, he's in trouble.
Yes, he is. With a bit of false info. If he had seen the people rotating in through spawn, there'd be a mad dash B.
This is awkward now for KRU. Sure, they've got the utility to play off of over on this B site.
How do they get through this with the Hunter's Fury in spawn?
And through Keznit. That's also a massive part of the problem. The flash through, you hear the orb picked up, so you know there's at least one more here. Beautifully played by Verso, playing just out of the range of the KO ult. And so now the Hunter's Fury through Keznit, back sight. Oscar drop, and they've hit a wall. They can't get out of main.
I don't even know if you can play this round.
Yeah, 20 seconds left. They're not going to be able to get back to A in time. They've been stalled out beautifully.
Melon's moment.
10 seconds left.
Especially when you're waiting that long to exec into the double senti site. Because they didn't really have any scouting. If you think about it, they got netted out A main, didn't really test forward out of that, either than seeing the Deadlock on that side, but Deadlock actually had a stun set up on B very early into the round. And that Yoru ult just allowed KRU to set up here, take this fight, just anchor back.
I'll say, you can complain that they went too slow against the double senti comp, but I'll play the other side, and I'll say KRU made them play slow with that early C's. If they speed up into A, they're going to meet the Hunter's Fury A. It's going to be trouble. If they go back to B, they're into the double senti right away. Keznit has all the info, so they have to slow down there. That was a very difficult round for 2G. Well played by KRU to get their second.
You're going to need more of that, though, because we've talked about it during the break. The defensive side needs to be successful.
Look,
given the
double swing about to
comp.
come in from Mazino. Maybe he's just taking himself. What?
Oh, wow.
Mazino dropped. Melser still playing on the other side of the smoke, but this feels to me, and I'd love to get your guys' thoughts on this, this feels to me like KRU are forcing some of these fights, too early.
I was a bit surprised by that. I thought Melzer was going to try to take that angle with him, but instead it was kind of a 1 by 1 by 1, even with 4 players stacked on this side.
Yeah, the hesitation. Knife's going to tag the Cypher, playing towards B. Bit of a mess here. And they're going to flash out onto the side, and they're not going to find anyone here. They don't really have any ults. I mean, Melser has his ult to reposition, I guess, but this is a difficult. He might die. 5 HP.
Not even close.
Gobert committing to the plant. And now KRU, again, are in a situation where they have to figure out, do they want to invest into this? Do they want to attempt this retake?
Very difficult. We just heard the Thorns go down, Paranoia and Hell. We have missiles going to get recharged very soon. And the suppression, I don't know how KRU come back into the round.
Yeah, I don't know that they find a way in either. And it felt a little, half-hearted there.
We saw why Double Senti looks so insane when we saw Cloud9 versus Lev, right? But this is the opposite side. If you lose some of these opening engagements and you're forced into these retakes, you got nothing.
Yep.
You have absolutely nothing. And if the Teo is one of the people that lives, or the Vice, you know, it is brutal. You have nothing to get back in.
Well, now that poses the question I want to ask you guys is it that they're forcing the early fights too much? Do they need to be playing further back? Do they need to let their utility do its thing?
Well, the salvo usage right there, there was one in main, one in wine, and I can see what Keznit's going for. He's trying to play this middle ground and trying to get a quick fight and then TP out.
Sure.
Right? But the KO flash from PXS was goated. It was so good. And in addition to that, I think Keznit needs to be jumping back towards the smoke wall, right?
Not towards them, right?
Yes, he needs to go to make them earn that kill. They would need to run further towards, you know, the orb side. That was a bit of a misplay from Keznit.
Well, I think eyes are going to be on Keznit this round. He finally has money for the Operator. Round 8 on defense. Very late for Map of Ascent. Yet 2G have sort of called around him in this early stage so far. They're still holding on to the drone from Gobert. It's one of those things you noted earlier, Sean, to make sure they can clear these early angles and actually get into a site. Maybe even spotting some of the Senti util.
I'm glad we got to look at this can. They've been using this every... Ooh, the Vice ult tries to leave the site.
Yeah, has to give it up. There's still a lot of utility here, though, as Verso's going to try to dig his heels in backside. The TP drop from Melser to reinforce some of the numbers, bolster the defense as best as they can. Paranoia looks like it might miss the mark, and now they're going to swing it behind it. Lane no longer Cruise. It's been 2Gs for the taking. Still a little bit of presence across the back of the site. Keznit not finding the right timing. Verso's now dead. B is 2Gs.
Their site hits have just been perfect.
Beautiful.
Getting all these kills back site. You remember a few rounds ago, that was repeated, but wait, the spike is up there. We're getting grabbed. There's only 25 seconds left, Doug.
Yeah, but Keznit has a really nice timing. He's got a really good space to handle around. Opts to put down the op.
The spike is still on switch.
Switch it over for lighter weaponry. A 2v3 here, and it falls apart. That stall out looked like it was going to be trouble.
Yo, that was crazy. That was so well played. How choreographed that whole round was from 2G. The Vice ult into the KO knife back sight to give details on a player being back there. That allows Oski to pull out the shorty, jump clear that, knowing for a fact at Verso's back.
Nice little bait piece there, too, from Louise on the swing.
Yeah, that was clean.
Just like in the last map you were talking about, the first bait pulls out a shot, so then he goes for the quick wide swing.
Yeah.
Instant kill.
Second time out from KRU.
I mean, this is... We've touched on it a couple of times, but given the comp that they're running, this is, for all intents and purposes, a disaster, right? It's 6-6. Can you even count that a success, given the double Senti comp on defense?
I don't think so. I mean, Deadlock is very powerful with the rechargeable net, right? I think they'll have Ease taking A main with a C's. You know, you could net A main off barrier, get it, and then recharge for the hit.
Sure.
And that's very powerful, but they're going against the Teo, which could also just missile main.
Right.
So if the Teo's in the right spot, they're going to have a lot of trouble next half. I'm a little worried for KRU right now on this map.
Honestly, I am as well. And you can see Adam on your screen sharing some of that sentiment, very animated as he tries to control and corral his troops and find some sort of an attempt at a comeback. Down 4 rounds on what should be their stronger side. 2G have found a way to, I mean, dissect what should be trap upon trap upon trap.
Yes. And guys, we've gone through the ult cycle on KRU. Look at the ults. 2G has weathered the storm and they're chilling. They are chilling at 6-2. We just saw a round with Omen ult and Deadlock ult. I mean, the Sova ult did win KRU a round, but you only get a couple of those half.
Yeah, KRU might only get the Yor ult for the rest of this half, to be honest. Maybe Bazino if he can get some kills, but this has been tough, and it still feels a bit odd. Right now, Keznit playing solo bottom mid. He teleports out because his TP was just about to run away.
Right.
And look at the timing of this drone. They know the timing of the Yoru TP. Very well played. This cam is goated for B. It's a foot cam for mid, so it gives you this info. And you can see right now, Keznit playing off of that cam info on the spawn rotate, leaning A now.
The wall goes up from the deadlock right around the time that refreshable utilities should come back up. This is much more similar to how Cloud9 were executing this comp.
Whoa, KRU are really leaning into this A side. Now, Keznit can TP back to B, but he just lost the window on that. And now by breaking this wall, 2G maintained that threat on A, but they're always going back into a B split here.
That was a big play that we missed right there. Mazzino stepped ahead of the salvos, got the info, and now the rotate is already coming into B.
There's going to be a clash on the site. Is there any utility to keep them back? You still have some. You're going to have to reckon with Askia Falls. Adverso finding a little bit of moment of respite, a pause in the smoke. Luis, and now waiting for his right time to strike. It's all on to silence now. A 1v2. He's done well to get it this far, but he's going to have to scoop up the spike. So far, so good.
10 seconds.
First box checked, and now they're going to flood out behind it. The Paranoia not going to connect. Time found. The swing is there. He's going to get on to one. Try to land the shot. 6 bullets left. Make that 4. 1 target to find, and the bullets do not land.
It was a great attempt. Honestly, the shots just weren't hitting right there for Silence, who's typically an insane mechanical player. Watched him throughout the Ascension tournament. It was Spike and Silence. These guys were just 1-2 punching everyone. It was incredible to watch.
I mean, even with the missed shots, like how quickly he's trying to like readjust and take the next fight because he trusted his aim.
Yeah. You could see he had the whole thing thought out.
Yeah.
Right? Before the plan, he put that flash down and he knew exactly what he was going to do. There's nothing you can do. If you're not laughing, you're crying right there.
Yeah, that one feels bad. He feels like that one got away from him. Still a good lead for the attack, though. 3 rounds for 2G. And Gobert's 1 off of his ult. Silence is close to his, too.
Early net sent into A main again. It feels like after the timeout, KRU have fallen into this Yoru playing bot mid. A little bit of A main control shown. Although Keznit has quickly repoed over towards A.
Locating targets.
That's a really early drone. Minute 23 on the clock.
Yeah,
Slightly
really
worried for KRU. They're floating in the mid ground right now at A. All 3. It's a little dangerous.
They've moved back into that the last couple of rounds. There's been some open. Whoa. B main. Adverso's just facing that and getting a kill. Sure, why not?
I think that's the first time we've seen Silence on the lurk, so big win right there. And Shy is able to use the neural theft.
And it's going to find out that everyone is out towards A. A little bit of an attempt at a delay. But it's really all to their dismay. I mean, they're walled off. They can't find a way in. 2 kills found on the attack, but Melser. I'm surprised he got turned on there. Luis once again in a 1vx situation. The need to deliver for his team, but heaven was not cleared.
Such an important 2 rounds for KRU to win back-to-back there. Start getting some momentum their way at the end of this half. Adverso finding some kills as well means he's going to be able to have an ultimate online for the final round, too. It's not undoable to bring it back 6-6.
That's pretty sick teamwork right there. Shy with that high cam, Adverso swinging off of it like that. That's really cool.
2 rounds between these two. Keznit has his ult again, and Gobert's got his.
Insta-drone mid, and there we go. That's the break I've been looking for. Great play by Keznit, and now the round is going to be quite difficult for 2G.
Well, they used their KO knife too, so until a minute on the clock is the next time you're going to have any real options to scout, and even then, not so reliable. I like that work done too to break the wall too.
Doors.
Wall after barrier, so they know they can do that, and there we go. Lurk through from Askia.
He's so far up here. And Zeno just on the other side. The timing of this is going to be really funny. He's just looking for any advantage he can get. But now position given away. Keznit's getting a lot of info, and Askia's feeling the walls closing in. He had no shot.
That's just a great reactive play there from KRU. Responding into mid, now 2G trying to speed up to A, to B.
Wait, 3 KRU players were hit by that Vital.
Yeah.
This?
Well, I mean, look at the stun. There's still a trip. Like, KRU can stall back sight.
And Mazzino has joined up. He was one of the 2 that did not get hit by the ult. Luis checking into the smoke. It's going to be Luis who, again, has to deliver. But these numbers, situations they find themselves in are just not paying off. The adjustments on the other side of the timeout have been exactly what KRU needed.
And to add salt to the wound, Luis used his ult at the end of that round.
Oh,
I heard the Omen ult line. Oh, man. The tail and the Omen ult now gone. He was trying to dip and go to A. Oh. Oh, they are feeling it now.
That's a pop-up and a half. What?
that's what I was. So that was what I was excited about with this new stage setup.
He's like 2 feet away from 2G.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
like round 1 at kickoff, Adverso was like, I was waiting for the Adverso pop off. I knew we were gonna get it if KRU went up.
We got it in round 11. They've put together a ferocious comeback. I believe the score was 6-2. But the misaligned defensive approach has been rectified.
Again, you can just see Keznit his only goal is just to be annoying. Slow things down. Don't let them get mid for free because our sights are just so bolstered with this double Senti comp.
Ooh, good baiting there from 2G. Get both the stun, the wall, and the grab net.
And they can instantly clear the wall out and then just take a step back. Both deadlock ults going to be invested, but one of them being connected onto. Do you let Askio go? Do you cut your losses? Meanwhile, there's a crunch across the middle of the map. Mazzino's going to get his. PXS on the swing, though. The middle of the map is not safe for the attack right now, and neither is A. Silence and Luis trying to figure this out on their own, and the controller stands strong.
You've got a game going here, Doug.
We do indeed. 6-6, the double timeout from Coach Adam, and the second one pays dividends.
Switching sides.
4 rounds to close out the half. Again, it looked dire. It did not look good. It seemed like they were just going to get rolled over, and then there were all the concerns about the attacking half. But, you know, oddly enough, the success that they found in this round was very reminiscent of how they approached the early rounds. Once they understood where the attack was, they crunched. So decisive in that fight.
Keznit getting that timing down bottom, and it was absolutely huge. Melzer also refighting Tree. Excellent from him.
A 6-6 half. Didn't know if we'd get here, but lo and behold, here's where we are. We'll see you guys on the other side of the break.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Tied 6-6. KRU managed to put together a ferocious comeback to keep this thing competitive, and now it's going to be 2G on the defensive side. If you are just joining us, welcome. I'm Doug. With me on the call is Sean and Ender. And fellas, there were a lot of doubts around KRU being able to pull it together, but they did.
Yes, indeed. And, you know, 2G again, they had a great start out of the gates, but KRU came alive in that second half of Icebox. They won the pistol bonus. 2G cannot allow that to happen right now. They have to get this pistol. They have to get off to a good start.
Well, that knife's going to scout at least 3 players, maybe even a 4th.
And that's what I was talking about earlier. This net in A main, oh, wow. They're scaling despite scanned?
They're so bold in this.
That's so sick, eating up the paranoia too. Now waiting on the other side, but Gobert finding that kill almost forces KRU to continue into A now.
And given that it was a double face, you don't know if they're committing to the lurk or not, so they have to accelerate towards the site, as you mentioned. Perfect timing on the swings. Oski was there to punch back, but Mazzino's now left in a 1v3. 38 HP. I don't know how he converts this. Gotta commit to getting the spike down, gonna get flushed out by the salvos. Gobert bookends the round.
Man, sacrificing himself for the extra cash off the plant. You gotta respect it, because there's no way he's winning that 1v3.
No, not at all.
That was sick counter aggression out of 2G. They feel that A hit, they double push out of B, they find the 2v1 against Shy. Gobert's already at four orbs right now. He's halfway to this tail ult again.
And then the 2K from Louise back Jenny. Get out,
Dude,
bro.
this guy has won 3 pistols for them in this series.
Seriously?
They've won 3 of the 4 pistols, and he's literally won 3 of them.
Yeah, because even here on Ascend, he had like the 1v2 like double headshot collat.
Triple kill flank.
Man.
Now, if you guys caught in the chat, Keznit commenting on how it felt like it was forced. Like they understand, or at least Keznit did there, that round was forced. They pushed it too much. That flash is filthy.
Yo, that flash.
Whoa!
It's a micro stun too, or a micro flash, excuse me. It won't flash the players ahead of it.
Dude, he got the orb?
He's gonna try to push into this. Again,
What is going on?
Gunfire erupting. This lighter weaponry has done a lot of damage.
I can't believe 2G were able to hold their ground while being all netted there in B main. Like, that was insane.
I mean, forced to take the fight with no real option otherwise.
I was surprised the net got them, because, I mean, they were mudded up. They were ready to play in the mud.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Hopefully you get a replay of that. 2G able to figure it out. They carry an Outlaw, a Bulldog, and a Stinger into the next round, but what a wild round.
A set play to get the B orb on the Ego? That's kind of crazy.
Kind of using the enemy Cypher cage to their advantage there almost.
Yeah.
Allowed them to deal with the net, grab the orb, etc. But now's where I kind of want to see KRU really slow down the pace on these rounds. Like, I feel like they've got tools to deal with 2G's comp, and accelerating is maybe a little bit tougher with the double Senti, but like, let's see if we can get this Yoru clone activated to deal with the Vise utility, work that space into mid, get someone embedded for the lurk.
There's a net that was thrown across the middle of the map, presumably to set up Keznit on a good fight. The clone, as you mentioned, getting active, finding a little bit of value, understanding that there's an Outlaw waiting B.
Keznit feeling confident, though. All 5 players on KRU full shields right now. They're down to challenge this Outlaw.
It seems like they're going to try. Oskia with weapon in hand. Crosshair trained on main, but the threat's elsewhere.
Thing is, right now, KRU playing B. Whoa!
Wow.
That's snappy.
That's the value of the full shields.
A deep wall, too, to cut off any rotation coming in through main. So they've isolated Silence. He's on an island here. He's going to have to figure this one out on his own.
Silence has his flash on lane. I think he's going to swing with this flash. 3-2.
He's going to have to try a Verso fall. Silence has done a really good job at getting him this far. 2 kills found. Time bought. And now reinforcements have arrived. Keznit with 10 HP, trying to play around lane. The shoulder just barely betraying some of the threat, but Shy is going to play spoiler, isn't he? Finds a kill, but the turn, it's a little bit too labored. It's a little bit too cumbersome. And Louise is there to save the round.
With the Stingers, 2G are just winning that round. I mean, it all goes back to Silence. That flash swing, like you were talking about, was nasty.
And man, that's what Vice is so strong with this hidden flash that you could just play off of. These players just know the timings, the spacings at the pro level, entering the B site. Such good timing on the flash.
Yeah, because the flash, it's set up above lane, but it's still hitting the stairs player coming out. So him swinging, getting stairs first, because there could still be players back lane that are coming in unflashed to trade, then taking the wide angle on those guys. Ooh, that's clean.
2G converting the bonus. In a really nice position here. They've got an op in the hands of Oskia. They've got a couple of ults coming up soon, too.
And how different is it to have the off now so early on in this round? The position Louise had in CAD as well could have given options to Paranoia had there been the quick aggression.
He's going to have a chance to find value with it.
Oh, no.
Oh, it's a disaster. We're just talking about the value of the op.
Keznit with the ult into sight, too, to help his team speed up in.
Oh, they might be able to salvage this around it. Got a little messy. Op still not picked up.
Oh, no.
Louise not able to settle.
Strike down A.
Not able to control the spray. Silence from up top.
Last
This has
player
become
standing.
such a mess. Verso, again, due for another pop-off, but PXS gets 3. Not going to save the op, but
Look,
we'll move on.
I'm not going to have any gripes about it. They just need the round.
You know what? They got the win.
Yes, they got the round. They got 11 on the board. The Yorworld's gone. This is a colossal dub to get out of this round right now.
Last player standing.
I didn't have time to draw attention to it, but some of the little cringe things this double senti comp that KRU is running can do. Shy has the cam high at tiles, and it was looking for the cat peek.
Yeah.
He then went back in spawn and was contact on cat after they broke his cam.
Oh, PXS is in trouble. Really cool idea, the net, but the counter flash, and Louise's timing, once again, perfect.
And the flash had to be there because the net hitting him. There's no way 2G are running out of that situation. Now
No.
they can hold their ground, keep winning these fights in main. It forces the lurk up mid, which isn't going to work either. 2G are just running away with it.
Askia connecting with the op. Middle of the map controlled. And KRU, I mean, what do you do for the rest of this round here? You save? Can you save through a whole minute of the round?
I think they could because 2G likely won't hunt, right? Because of how sketchy that last round was. Look
Yeah.
at their economy right now. If they were to overhunt right now, the scenario would be these KRU players could punish them potentially, and if they win the next round, then 2G would be broke. That's the way KRU gets back into this game. I think it would be a big mistake for 2G to hunt these two guns.
Well, it doesn't seem like they're going to, which will give us a chance to podcast a little bit, chat about what's going on. I mean, KRU have really just kind of slammed their heads into a wall this
30
entire
seconds
half.
left.
Do you expect a timeout on the other side of this, given that they've had some time to talk to?
Didn't they use both
they
timeouts in the
both,
first
you're
half?
right.
Yeah.
I mean, they're kind of...
Because their defense was abysmal at the start. They started out 2-6, took that second
Yeah,
timeout,
you're
course
right.
corrected, but that's bad
Oh.
news.
They're trying to hunt. Surely.
Just PXS, who's one off of his ult.
10 seconds
I get
left.
the idea. Maybe he gets a kill, takes a weapon out of their hands.
Man, that's one of those scenarios where it's okay to lose a gun, but
Yeah.
you don't want to have your economy in shambles.
Right,
Hunting
right.
these two. Louise gets his ult online, and the Omen ult, I meme on it a lot, but Ascent is one of the maps where the Omen ult goes crazy, and we
I
saw
agree.
it last half when Melser was able to just TP from A to B on the B hit. It allows you to bolster both sites simultaneously because of how Omen functions at this A site.
I really want to see KRU maybe play less committed into the main space early in the rounds. It was kind of what was a problem for them on their defensive side, too. They just kept losing these early fights, those brawls. This time, oh, that's a very early drone.
But he's got cover. I mean, that's the second time we see that. A net catches someone early, but there's always a second layer.
Yeah, and there's that little gap there in the wall that you can spam with the Guardian. Shy was trying to get the pings off that.
That is a diabolical Vice Flash.
Yeah, that's the second time we've seen some really nerdy stuff.
Third.
Oh,
Remember
yeah,
on the
you're right.
window?
Yeah, you're right.
He is cooking on this Vice.
Oh, jump spot or a little shoulder peek out from PXS. The delay a little bit longer.
My territory, my...
Oh, this is weird. They're going to try to flush out and re-clear out main.
This-
Melser dodges the first flash, the second one.
They're pushing through.
They've got to find this kill, though. They understand that's where the pressure has to be alleviated, and they find
Wow.
success.
Sniping the up out of heaven with the deadlock ulti, too.
And so now they can approach this retake attempt from both sides.
Exactly where you are.
The Neural Theft going to connect. Oh, it's
No
perfect.
way. He TPs across. They never expected that.
No, Louise getting 2.
Remaining.
Mazzino's going to fall, make that 4. The ace on the cards, Keznit. The last one waiting for it. You can tell they want to try to bait it out, but Silence will actually clean it up.
Bro, Louise goes IGL. This guy's just dishing out these L's. He's just dishing them out. He is owning. What a call. He feels the cat hit coming in, right? The paranoia cuts through for Tree. and they immediately know, we got to kill the weak side of this hit or we're going to get pinched.
Yep.
They push all the way through, and then he comes back and TPs to Wine.
Like, what is this setup? You have a Wine player. You've got a player boosted up on main, too. Like, how are you ever supposed to deal with that? I don't care what comp you're playing. You're not winning that fight going back to main.
Even the call to go back and fight main in the midst of all that chaos for a new team, that's hard to execute, to commit to on the fly.
Yeah.
Beautifully done.
So well played by 2G right there.
Dude, Luis is 20-8.
I mean, a spotless record for 2G without blemish. Early Paranoia out to try to push him off of that space. Paranoia traded back in kind, and now they're going to flood behind it. Luis gets another. The rampage continues for the controller. Off on the other side of that pop flash. It's surgical. They can do no wrong. Now they can accelerate off of this into A. Mazzino's going to try to do his best to dig his heels in. But just mowed over.
Yeah, they're grinding out these trades 2v3. It is winnable for KRU here, Doug.
Winnable, possible, unlikely, and that might have been the final kill to seal the deal. 13-6, the way of 2G.
Hey, you know what? We hadn't seen either of these teams play Ascent before, but 2G showing why it was their map pick. I mean, they just dismantled this double Senti comp.
Yeah, and we haven't seen 2G play a third map in like 5 series.
Yeah,
this is uncharted territory.
It was like 0-8 over the last couple of series, and now they find themselves here. I do think they exposed the double Senti comp on Ascent, which no team had been able to do up until this point.
Sure, I mean, that was just impressive. And doing it against KRU, who is right now the best team in this group. Last week, 2G were the team that was supposed to never win a map ever with these roster changes. Like, what is going on? They have completely turned this bracket up on its own head.
And they shut down Keznit, who is one of the top players in our region right now, actually having a pop-off year. What a map from 2G to get us into Pearl.
Yeah, it really felt like KRU were starting to, become the team everyone thought, everyone expected they were going to be able to be. But the reality of the matter is, at least here in America, is any dog can have their day, any given Sunday type beat. We're going to throw it to a quick break. The desk will break down what they saw and get us all ready for map 3. See you guys soon.